Good morning, students. Today we are going to do analytical paragraph based on verbal input. In the previous classes, we did analytical paragraphs based on visual input, that is based on a chart or a bar graph or a picture, and we did some samples also covering the board sample paper. Right? So now we are going to do analytical paragraph based on verbal input. Verbal input here means some clues may be given, some small shared data may be given in text form, in the form of clues and some ideas, right? Sometimes the clues are not there, but the topic is designed in such a way that either it is an argumentative topic or there can be various alternative suggestions and points to counter that topic. You need to analyze the statement and create your own points. So that question itself has an input in the form of that statement which you need to analyze and write your paragraph. So let's start. Let me share the screen. Yes, analytical paragraph based on verbal input. If you see the screen, dear students, read the following report and write an analytical paragraph based on it. Word limit 120 words. Let me read that small excerpt from the report. Recent studies have shown a rapid conversion of impaired glucose tolerance to diabetes in the southern states of India, where the prevalence of diabetes among adults has reached approximately 20% in urban populations and approximately 10% in rural populations. Because of the considerable disparity between availability and affordability in the diabetic care or diabetes care, it becomes all the more difficult to create awareness and take care of the people, and the number increases. And this we have read just now is the case of southern states in India. The International Diabetes Federation, IDF, evaluates 70 million people suffered from diabetes in the year 2017. So here the report has been given in a concise form with some points, which we will definitely cover in our paragraph. 134.3 million people are estimated to suffer from diabetes by 2045 in India. India is going to face a big challenge of diabetes. A big burden, tremendous burden is being awaited in the form of diabetes in the country. But 17.5% of the global total. The people in India contribute around 17.5% of the entire population of diabetic people. Calculated in 2018, that means out of 6, 1 is from India who's suffering from diabetes in the world. Reasons: lifestyle changes, sedentary ways, migration to urban environment from rural to urban, or migration to urban environment from rural environment, low awareness of the disease. Awareness is not there. Right? So, after analyzing this data, this small report in the verbal form, we come to know that the prevalence rate of diabetes in adults in South Indian states has reached 20% in urban areas and approximately 10% in rural areas. There is a quite gap between the availability and affordability. for diabetic care, or diabetic people are not able to afford, and also the things are not available which are the part of care and medical care and medicine and other concerns. So awareness is not there, availability is not there, affordability is not there. There is a gap between availability and affordability. If the things are available, people cannot afford, right? So that is also the reason for increase in the number of diabetic patients. IDF, International Diabetes Federation, right? So let's see how to write this paragraph. It becomes little simple if you see, if the clues are given and you understand them, whether they are in the form of a chart or a graph or a pie chart or any other picture or pictorial presentation, or verbal stimulus or input is given in this particular way, which we are discussing right now, which is before us on the screen. So let's move further. Current scenario of diabetes in India. India is experiencing rapid socio-economic progress and urbanization. The above report provides the information about the southern states of India where the prevalence rates among the adults have reached to 20%. Prevalent rates of diabetes among adults have reached to 20% in urban populations and approximately 10% in rural populations. The reason behind this increase in percentage in diabetes or among the people, the diabetes has soared to this much percentage because the reason behind is disparity between availability and affordability of diabetes care. Right? The International Diabetes Federation (IDF) estimated 70 million people suffering from diabetes in the year 2017. It is projected now, when if we see why we have used this sentence, if we see, dear students, estimated by IDF, the International Diabetic or Diabetes Federation. So it has been projected, or it is projected by IDF, that by 2045 India will have 134.3 million people with diabetes. India shares a burden of 17.5% of the global share of the diabetic patients. I have only elaborated the clues given, but we have covered all the data, the entire statistical points given in the clues. Right? Yes, India shares a burden of 17.5% of the global share of the diabetic patients, which is equal to 1 in 6 people with diabetes in the world is from India, which means that 1 in 6 people with diabetes in the world is from India. You can change the sentence this way: sedentary lifestyle, migration to urban environment from rural areas, and low awareness of the disease have been the major reasons behind the spread of diabetes. Lifestyle modification is the need of the hour. We have given one suggestion also. Lifestyle modification is the need of the hour to curb the rising burden of diabetes. Right, dear students? This way we have covered up the input given, and in visual input we have the statistical data in tabular form. So we have more information here. Whatever is available we have taken. Along with that, we are experiencing rapid changes, rapid urbanization, and that has become the reason. That is also the reason for the increase in the number of diabetic patients. Right? Fine, dear children. So let's move further. Practice question. Now this is a question where The clues are not given as they were given in the previous question. Here we have to analyze the statement. We need to ponder over the statement or create some points and then write the paragraph. Read the excerpt from an article that appeared in the magazine section of a local daily. The ban on single-use plastic is impractical. The moment we read this line, we come to know that it is very, very practical. So here the contrast comes. Here the points come in our mind that this is an argumentative issue, and not only argumentative, but we have counter points to oppose this. The ban on single-use plastic is impractical. The purpose of articles like bags and packaging is to make human life easier. Plastic articles shouldn't be banned. So we need to create our paragraph opposite to the statement given. Write a paragraph to analyze the given argument. Right? Yes. Now, dear students, this is the question which has been taken from the sample, right, provided by the board, and we need to argue or we need to create some argumentative points, the clues. Think of alternative explanations that might weaken the given conclusion. As I said in the beginning of this question, while explaining this question, that you need to oppose because plastics must be banned. So we have analyzed it, we understand it, and now you need to create some 3 to 4 strong points which can take the word limit of 120 words around. Think of alternative explanations that might weaken the given conclusion. Include evidence that would strengthen the opinion that these articles, this plastic must be banned. Now, the points that come in our mind, children, for the topic like plastic should be banned, or plastic material or objects and articles must be banned, is that plastics are quite harmful and toxic. They're quite poisonous, right? Yes, moreover, some points like they convert into, first of all, they don't convert, it takes thousands of years. This is also a point that it takes thousands of years to decompose these plastic particles. And when they convert into microparticles, nanoparticles, which intervene in our food chain, how they become the part of soil and water. They are very much carcinogenic, cancerous for the human beings. Plastics are harmful not only for human beings but also for plants, animals, including human beings. And who doesn't know the harmful effects of plastics on human life and other forms of life? Then moreover, we can, understand, or we know that very little plastic gets recycled. It ends up into water bodies and landfills. Wherever it could be thrown, it is thrown for decomposition, which never takes place, or even if it takes place, it becomes thousands of years, after thousands of years. So long-term negative effect on the soil as well as water, affecting the earth and affecting the forms of life. Now you can give a suggestion also, dear children, that even you can share some studies if you remember, right? If you see some latest statistics, you will find how many trillions of plastics is dumped into the oceans every day. Every hour, you can mention a line. Here it is not given, but to make your paragraph strong and oppose or write those alternative suggestions, points, you can take those things also. Like 5.3 trillion plastics, or whatever the unit in around weights and all, we can pick up and we can write the study estimates that one third, we can use this way also, one third of waste ends up in soil and freshwater bodies as small particles and nanoparticles, or micro and macro particles, which, so we must conclude that plastics must be banned. Right? Like this, we have covered up the analytical paragraph based on verbal input, as well as where you need to create your own points after analyzing the statement that it is impractical. The question was that the single-use plastic should not be banned, right? So it must be banned, and we have mentioned few supporting points to make it a strong analytical paragraph, an analytical paragraph with strong points, right? So I hope you have understood this analytical paragraph, and I wish that you write this paragraph which we have discussed as a practice question just now, right? So you need to do this in your notebook, right? Thank you. God bless you. Stay safe and healthy and fit and fine.